Hey everybody, this is Frank with for the Old Breed, and today I'm with my friend Brian Warner from Georgia Red Clay. He's in a local band here in Georgia. I'm probably his number one fan. That's what I say all the time. I'm his number one fan because that's how we met. I saw him playing and I was like, man, you guys are incredible. And whatever, I try to follow him as much as I can. I haven't lately. Brian, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here, man.
I appreciate you being on. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see here. Where to begin? It all started back. No, I'm joking.
Damn.
No.
All the way back.
I ain't going all the way back.
All right.
Let's see here. Local. Been in Georgia pretty much my entire life, minus about like 2 years, but we don't really count that, I guess. But just started playing music at a young age. Bounced around from job to job to job to job. Pretty much have done everything under the sun. But then at the same time, music just kept being that one driving force, that one constant throughout my life. And in 2012, Georgia Red Clay was founded, along with my younger brother Eric. You know Eric pretty good. You know Eric. Yeah,
super quiet guy.
God, until you get him talking, then you got to shut the hell up.
Oh, okay. He's that guy too.
He's that guy too. Yeah.
Okay.
His personality is about 2 beers deep.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
But then we got a bunch of good guys with us. We got Billy and Daniel right now in the bass and drum positions, and I mean we just really took off from the get-go. It was one of those like meteoric rises, and then absolute crash and burn kind of scenarios. I mean, it was. I mean, if I could go back to the good days, I would. But then at the same time, it's the bad days that kind of keep you centered, keep you focused, that kind of thing. And everybody kind of has that same thing where it's not necessarily the good things that, propel you through life. It's the bad things and the lessons learned from there that actually, keep you going.
And it toughens you up, man.
It does. It toughens you up and it makes for some really good writing material.
I agree.
I mean, honestly, every good song that I've ever written came from even the happiest songs came from something that was going completely and totally sideways in life.
Pain is a powerful thing.
Pain is one of the most powerful things in life, and that's just the long and short of it. But here we are, 12 years. No, not 12 years. No, we started in 2012. There we go. So 8 years later.
Okay.
We're just we're doing our thing, and then all of a sudden, COVID-19. COVID-19.
What do you think about COVID-19?
It's an absolute bitch.
Really? Okay.
Plain and simple. So the last show we had was March 13th of this year.
Yeah.
And here we are, the 24th of May.
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where do we start with this whole thing, man?
Dude, I mean, number one, too little, too late. Number two, I mean, complete and total. I mean, the media chaos is what is driving this whole freaking thing to begin with. I mean, now do I believe that, certain precautions should be made for the overall health and well-being of the population? Yeah, of course. I mean, but that also extends to people doing the basic necessities of life. Wash your hands. Don't sneeze on people. Don't cough on people.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, but then at the same time, crippling an economy for the overall good.
Yeah, man. I've been going out for the last 2 weeks, and it's very strange because some of the places that I love to go to, and I'm a big fan of going out and seeing guys like yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody, there's no bands out there, and restaurants that would be usually full in Atlanta, Georgia, it's like maybe a quarter full, and then you see people wearing masks. So I think it's very important, and what I've told all my guests so far is I believe the same thing too. People are dying, but if you look at it statistically, it's people 65 and over. And I would, let's say, start with our own home state. If you look at the statistics for our beautiful state of Georgia, it's people 65 and older. So people are dying, but people that are obviously older, people that are healthy, or let's say people that are diabetic, people that have hypertension, people that have underlying issues. Do you agree with that?
No, definitely. I mean, it's definitely the underlying issues that that cause a lot of the complications that then, it's basically COVID-19, just like the flu, is opportunistic. So basically, if you are a healthy individual, it's not going to affect you as bad as if you had an underlying cause. I mean, that's just the plain and simple. But at the same time, it's honestly I guess they say overabundance of caution, that kind of thing. But where does that end?
I agree.
I mean, at what cost?
No, man. Like I said, I've said it many times. It's like the restaurant, the food and beverage, but clubs and all that stuff. It's been decimated, man. Like all these people are out of work, and that's the big problem that I have with it, Brian, is that they keep people to stay home. It's like, okay, well, how are you going to stay home if you don't have a home to live in because you can't pay your rent? Man, especially people that live week to week. What's going to happen to those people? Right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because I can speak from two different points of view. I'm pretty much your modern musician these days, meaning, for those of you who don't kind of know what the term means, it means I'm the smart one who has a day job in addition to being a musician. Yeah. So, but I have tons of friends who are still out there trying to make it. And by make it, I mean straight up, this is the only thing they do 24/7, 7 days a week, 365. I mean, it's all they know. It's all they do. And we've had to adapt. So GRC has absolutely done the same thing where we've done, we've done online broadcasts, we've done online shows, we've done online this, online that, because basically it's kind of like if you're not moving, you're dead.
Yeah.
And that's just the relevance of it all. So I know the pressure that a lot of these people who don't have day jobs, don't have another source of income, I know the pressure that they're under right now, because I can look at it as just, a few days out of my week that I don't have something coming in, or a little bit of additional revenue that I'm not seeing, that I normally would, especially in this time, because this is the show and festival season right now.
Yeah, and there's nothing like going to see a live band. It's like, okay, you can see it on the internet, but that's why you go out.
Exactly. That's
the whole reason.
That's why you buy the ticket. That's why the asses are in the seats. It's not necessarily the music per se, it's the experience. So all these people are trying to basically reinvent the wheel, trying to get something moving in their music career, because they're losing this huge chunk. Now, the biggest thing, and I'm giving you kind of like an economic perspective, kind of forecasting type thing, because that's really and truly where my mind is now. So for those of you who also don't know me personally, I'm also in school getting my economics bachelor's degree. So, I mean, everything's kind of grayscale as far as that's all concerned.
My greatest hero is Dr. Thomas Sowell. He's an American economist.
Looky there.
Milton Friedman.
My
heroes, man.
Right on. So my whole forecasting thing, as far as the whole music outlook coming out of this COVID-19 type thing, with different industries being able to open up that are conducive. So like your restaurants, your bars, your nightclubs, your venues, your stuff like that. It's all about supply and demand. Everything in life, if you were to break it down, is all about supply and demand. And unfortunately, there is going to be such a surplus of supply due to musicians that have been out of work for such a long period of time, that the demand is going to go way down. What happens when demand goes way down? Price goes down. So what are we going to see here? We're going to see musicians, I call it the Nashville effect. Because if you're not willing to if you're not willing to play 4 hours of music for $50 and you have to give 5 guys in there for $50, there is another band right down the freaking street that will do it for $50.
Listen, there's always a ripple effect. I was talking to one of my guests and I was telling people they're not going to the hospital. So let's say you're taking chemotherapy. In California, it's down because they're afraid to get COVID. So what about that person that has a bad heart and And the same thing, he's calling to say, I have pains in my heart. And he's not going in because he's afraid to get COVID, which makes the situation worse. It has a ripple effect, not just people that get the COVID. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean, no, definitely. I mean, there's definitely a ripple effect. I mean, I see it from, the healthcare industry side as well, because as many of you know, my wife is actually in the healthcare industry. There is a lot of the stuff where people are not seeking out treatment due to absolute and total fear. And I understand, I mean, that fear is real. Fear is a response, a survival response. That's what fear actually is. I mean, so fear is basically your mind trying to keep you alive.
Yeah, but great. Fear is good, but why are people driving in their cars and still have masks on?
Oh, man.
What about people walking? You're walking,
right,
and you have a mask on. Does that defy logic?
No. That's absolutely completely illogical. I mean, honestly, because if you're going to drive in your car,
what are you going to
alone,
right?
I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, at the same time, you have more of an opportunity to get some kind of disease from those gloves that you're wearing everywhere. One pair of gloves, and you're going to go touch this at the grocery store, touch this at the bank, get in your own personal vehicle and grab that wheel wearing those gloves that you've touched everything with. And you think those gloves are going to save you? That's like wearing your mask alone in your car.
Exactly, man. Like I said, I went out last night, and it's just dead, man. There's just like you're waiting, like what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
I mean, at the same time, Frank, if you would cough like that when you went out last night, I guarantee you.
I did.
Yeah, there's gonna be like 20 people looking over at you going like,
dude, I'm afraid. And listen, man, I have bad acid reflux because I drink lots of coffee. So it's actually hereditary. I have it. My sister has it, and my brother has it. He has it. So yeah, every time I go out, if I cough, I'm actually afraid to cough.
Right.
Because I think people are going to be like, yeah, this guy's got the Rona.
Right.
So what? I can't cough?
Right.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, and it's so weird now. I mean, because it seems like people somewhere down the line, I mean, I'm a firm believer that we should take the warning labels off of common sense products and let, nature sort itself out, honestly. I mean, but it's just one of those things where if you didn't know prior to COVID-19 that you should wash your hands, cough into your elbow, just have basic hygiene. If you didn't know that going in, yeah, but Brian, like they say that the doorknob, there's someone like they say they're the dirtiest places, that they're basically full of fecal matter. Like we do that all the time. Like, dude, I'm not kidding you. I had a guy come in with a turtleneck, and he literally he was using a coffee filter. So he comes in and he opens the door. I mean, but you do that all the time. And they say that stuff is covered in fecal matter. So it's like we've been, as human beings, our bodies are constantly fighting. Your wife probably knows about. I'm sure she does. Your body is constantly fighting diseases off, right? Yeah. But the thing that the whole reason that COVID got its notoriety is because while being opportunistic, it's aggressively opportunistic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does have a little bit of, that kind of, I mean, it deserves respect. It honestly does deserve respect.
Of course.
But yes, your body is constantly fighting off things. I mean, I've played in some of the grimiest, dirtiest, smoke-filled, absolute and total shitholes across the Southeast.
Yeah.
I'm still kicking, breathing, and all this other stuff because, if you take care of yourself, it's just like, any other thing. It's like a piece of machinery. You take care of the machinery, aka your body, then you're going to be able to have like a better response against certain things. And I mean, that's just gone back from, day one. I mean, dawn of time. I mean, that's just the way that we are wired. So you have to give it the opportunity. You've had to have had something. Now, at the same time, if you have a predisposition, if you have something genetic that, gives you a genetic predisposition to, having certain kinds of infections and, being easily transmitted, that kind of thing. Okay, I understand your fear in this whole thing. But if you are an absolutely healthy individual, taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, eating the right foods, getting some exercise, we're talking even just moderate exercise, walking around your neighborhood. I don't really care what you're talking about. If you do the basic, you're gonna be just fine 9 times out of 10.
Yes.
So blowing this out of proportion is, basically, I blame it on the fact that we have 24-hour news media. You can't cover something at 2:30 in the morning if you don't have something to cover. So therefore, you have to have something that is going to be just a constant circuit.
And they have everything to gain for it. That's what really, man, that's what frustrates me so much, Brian, is that I see these people. I don't care, Fox, CNN, all of them. They keep talking about this thing, like you need to stay home. When they were like really pushing it, it's like, right. Well, you're saying that because you're in television and you're making lots and lots of money. But of course, and it's the same thing as the politicians. The politicians say the same thing, but they're still getting a check.
Right.
Right. So like I said, that's really what frustrates me, is seeing my country and our economy go down the shit for something that we should take the measures, of course, but as Americans, we should have a choice. This is not Russia. This is the United States of America. Okay. And that's what makes us so different than any other country in the world, is we have that right. It goes against our Constitution, Brian. What do you think?
Okay, so telling me that I have to stay indoors. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. You have absolutely no right to do that. You can't tell me that it's for the greater good, me staying home.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to leave, there's always the argument saying, okay, well, I'm going to take the precautions that I need to protect myself.
Yes.
But then everyone's like, well, what about the others that you're putting in danger? If they took the same precautions that I did,
yes,
then how in the world is this an argument?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're just being pragmatic, man. That's all we're doing. I'm not saying that people are not dying, but look, all we're doing right now, Brian, is we're doing bro science. That's it. That's all that we're doing. Okay. So I have a friend of mine who's a teacher who has a brother, and his brother's a doctor. And he says he got into that rabbit hole. And he said that the media was talking about a case where this young man died of COVID-19. So they were like, well, there's one case. It's affecting everybody. Right. Well, come to find out, this kid was 450 freaking pounds. So you're morbidly obese. So if you die of the COVID, is because you're 450 freaking pounds. You may have some underlying issues. It's not normal to be 400. Does that make sense, Brian, or no?
No, it makes absolutely no sense to say, oh, well, here's a young person that died of COVID. You're right. He had an underlying, 450. There's nothing underlying about 450 pounds. But
you're too big.
Well, unless
you're not big bone. You're fat as.
Well, yeah. But, at the same time, you could have had a glandular problem, a thyroid issue, this, that, the other.
But doesn't that fall on the line of?
Yeah.
Yes. You see what I'm talking about? It's a
pre-existing underlying condition. If it wasn't going to get you on the top side, it was going to get you on the back. That's just the plain and simple. But I agree with you that, okay, so analyzing anything like using statistics, okay, you can bend any kind of data set.
That's right.
To whatever you want it to say.
Yes.
That's the whole premise of most of these statistics that you see, and especially in today's news and media and all this other stuff. You can't continuously just pound away at a certain, phrase that you want, to keep going without some kind of numeric representation of that. So what they have to do is they have to get these statistics. Now, I can tell you from every project that I've ever done in my college career that I can make numbers say whatever the hell I want them to say.
Yes.
So going back to your example of, oh, we got one young man, you have no idea what demographic he was sitting in.
Exactly.
All you're concerned about is age.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go by age, but all these concepts that we're talking about, and I'm glad you said that about economy, because that's what Dr. Thomas Sowell was talking about, these so-called statistics in the 1970s, when they were basically gauging like the wage gap for men and women. So it's like if you're comparing let's say two 40-year-olds, let's say a man's been in the market for the last 30 years, and then you look at a female that's 40 years old, but she became a mother and she started to raise kids. Once she gets into the job market, she's not going to make the same amount of money that same man that's been in the job market for the last 30 years. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. And Dr. Thomas Sowell says, so if I was an evil capitalist, if I was getting women cheaper, so if I was getting, because they were saying, I think for every dollar, women get 70 cents.
70 cents, yeah.
All right, so if I was an evil capitalist, then why don't I just hire all women? Why don't I do that? But that doesn't happen because the system is based on competition, right?
It also has to do with and the economic viewpoint of as far as your workforce is concerned. Speaking along the lines of the gender wage gap.
Mm-hmm.
An employer is going to look at a woman. Let's just even back it up. We're talking about college graduates. You have two college graduates fresh out of the system looking at this job. They're going to look at a man and a woman. We're talking they were top of their class. They were identical for this purpose. They are identical. Mm-hmm. That same employer is going to look at the man and look at the woman and realize that in a number of years, depending on their life choices and stuff like that, that man is going to be able to continue to work. And like you said, that woman may have to leave to raise children. It may not be for years, because maybe she's one of the modern day women who in the workforce, they take that maternity leave, then they come back as soon as they can. Fine, but that employer is looking at it as a loss of time.
Yes.
Even though it's only a few weeks, few months, whatever you want to call it, but he's looking at it as lost time opportunity cost.
Yes.
Because basically at that point, the wages, the billable hours that he could have had out of that one employee are now less because she had to take time. So therein lie I've read most of the reports that you've actually been kind of quoting from. Yeah. So they're not going to put as much money up front on a woman. Now, at the same time, I don't personally believe that a woman is less than a man. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. Absolutely. In fact, I would actually put it I am completely and totally convinced that my wife is worth way more than me.
Yes.
Way more than me. She's an absolute just firecracker, and she's smart as hell, can run freaking circles around my dumbass all freaking day.
Yes. So I could say the same thing for my daughter. My daughter is more educated than her husband.
Right.
But she's basically raising kids, so she's not in the job market right now. So even they did the study with medical students. They were finding out that men were making more money than women. Mm-hmm. And once they really looked into it, they found out that basically men were working overtime. They were just working more overtime than women. Why? Because women, and I'm not generalizing, but statistically speaking, that's usually what happens. Even they've said that, women they're brilliant. They're incredibly smart. Anybody that has worked with women, they are so amazing. They can multitask. They can do lots and lots of things that are better. But the fact remains is that lots of women get to a certain age to where they say to themselves, I want to raise kids.
Right.
And that's what happens. That's what happens. They eventually want to have children. So they're not in the workforce.
Right. And and like I said, it could be for a very, very short period of time. Yeah. It could be anything, but it is a lost time as far as an employer, their viewpoint.
Yeah.
Now, it's just one of those things, and it goes across every single every single industry. Every single industry.
Yeah, and so like I said, if this is all we're doing right now is we're doing bro science, bro economics, but I would go look into Dr. Thomas Sowell, probably one of the most important Americans in the last 70 years. Look at Milton Friedman, economists. These guys, this is what they do. And they teach, well, Milton Friedman's dead, but Dr. Thomas Sowell, he's still alive. But yeah, they're like scholars, they're intellectuals, right?
They are. I mean, and you would be hard pressed to find any modern day economist that doesn't basically take viewpoints of these two guys. I mean, and basically they're like the father of modern economics.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just you'd be really hard pressed to find anybody who really kind of has a differing viewpoint. I mean, only because this kind of information has stood the test of time.
Yes.
Because it's been proven over and over and over again.
Yes, I wish Dr. Thomas Sowell was my father. I just wanted to say that you're my hero, Dr. Thomas Sowell. You are my hero.
But it's unreal, and it's just one of those things. I mean, where it's like you said, women can multitask like crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I can't do it.
Are you kidding me, man? I mean, now
one mind, just like
I forget,
one task.
The name of the doctor that was given this, this presentation, but he was basically describing the differences between the male and female mind. And he said a man's mind is kind of like a series of boxes. So basically, if you need something from the automotive box, you need to know how to change a tire. You go to your automotive box, you get it out. You basically get what you need from there. You put it back in. Okay, fine. The tire's fixed. Women, on the other hand, are like wires. Everything is interconnected. This is why they can multitask.
Yeah.
This is why you can find a woman with, like feeding a baby, on the phone with her mother, and and handling the family's finances all at the same time. Just all this stuff, and not missing a beat on any single one of them.
Yeah.
Because everything is interconnected. You try doing that with a man, you want to see a man get frustrated real fast?
Yeah.
Try and get him to do something completely and totally different while he's fixing something from his automotive box.
Yeah, I think we tend to think in boxes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's unreal. And this is one of those things where, I mean, I honestly believe that for all intents and purposes, women make better workers.
Yeah.
They do, straight up.
And there are more women graduating from college,
this is also
statistically speaking,
Yeah.
So whatever. All right. So enough of that, bro science, bro economics. So just tell us more about yourself. Where are you going to be playing at, dude?
Okay,
when?
The funny part is everything that kind of, came to be, our last show was at Moonshiners in Grayson, and that was March 13th. And our first show back after the whole COVID is Moonshiners in Grayson on May 30th. So that's actually really kind of funny. 2.5 months basically later, here we are, basically picking up where we left off. So, like I said, May 30th, Moonshiners Bar and Grill in Grayson, Georgia. We're going to be there 9 o'clock. We're going to have 4 hours of music. Now, you guys, if you guys haven't heard of Georgia Red Clay, please check them out, man. They're freaking amazing. You guys kill it over there, man. And you know what? We try our best. I mean, we fake it till we make it, and we're really good at faking it.
These guys are really good, man. I really respect what you guys do, man. As I always watch you guys play, and I'm like, man, I don't know how you do it, but it's just amazing, man. Especially when you play in Buckhead, man. You kill it in Buckhead, man.
We really have had a lot of fun in Buckhead. Down there at 5 Paces, man, we had a great time. I would love to go back. So if anybody here is listening from that area, just tell them you want Georgia Red Clay back. We'll be more than happy to come down there. Yeah. We're also open for, different venues as well. I mean, we'll play pretty much anywhere somebody wants to hear us. I mean, that's just, the way that we are. I mean, and we just have fun doing it. Like I said, a good group of guys. We got a lot of great people behind us, and Ground Pounder Graphics is one of them. And
yes, that's the sponsor of for the Old Breed. It's a printing business, and they do T-shirts, embroidery, dye sublimation.
In fact, Frank, we're actually wearing some Ground Pounder graphic shirts.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Those are cool, man. Yeah. They're pretty cool, man. You guys should check them out. Ground Pounder Graphics. They're on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Any kind of printing related stuff. Yeah, go check them out, guys. They're good people over there. But listen. So what I understand, and I've been tracking this because I go out all the time. I went out last night. I think clubs and all that stuff, they're supposed to open at the end of the month.
At the end of the month. The 31st is when the restrictions drop as far as bars, nightclubs, music venues, that kind of thing. So we're desperately waiting for this to kind of happen. The only problem is, going back to what I said earlier, now we have a supply problem because we have an overabundance.
You think that's going to happen?
Oh, definitely, man.
Really?
Because
I didn't think about that.
Well, here's the whole thing, man. Because now these bars they're realizing that these musicians are hurting. So really and truly, could you gotten like $300 for like a solo acoustic here or whatever the hell? This coach's gonna be like, well, how about 150? Because they know you're hurting.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're right. Listen, Hertz is going out there. They're done. The car industry is going to suffer because basically you're going to have to push out 500,000 cars that they're going to have to sell. Mm-hmm. So Hertz is gone. Victoria's Secret is gone. Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy.
Well, like getting, basically looking at it from the musician standpoint, I think that there needs to be kind of like this coalition type thing with musicians, because if we allow the market to dictate how much we get paid, we're basically going to be screwing ourselves. Because if musicians don't band together and basically say no, don't take a lesser price because you're desperate, because down the road it's going to hurt every single other musician that goes into that venue.
Yeah. No, listen, that's interesting that you pointed that out, man. I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye on that. I like to listen to things like that because it's things that we really never talk about. And listen to me, that beer is not going to drink itself. How dare you? How dare you? It's getting hot. It's getting hot. But yeah, man, I'm definitely going to have to check that out, man. I never really thought about it, but yeah, that too, man. So basically all these hardworking musicians, they're not going to be getting paid what they deserve.
And I get it, because a lot of the venues are basically saying, oh, well, we have, we're only allowed to have 50% capacity.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the whole thing about it, and this has rang true from the time I started and took anything I could get to the time now. Basically, if you as a venue owner, if you rely on a band to bring your clientele, you're doing it backwards. You bring a band to entertain your already established clientele. Okay, you don't, because you'll find this a lot with venues where they'll be like, oh, well, I'm going to need you to bring 50 people with you.
Yeah.
What the hell, dude? Number one, you're not a music venue. You're a soup and falafel place. Okay. That's you're not known for live music. So why am I going to basically bring 50 people with me?
Yeah.
And that is going to be the determining factor on how much, you're willing to pay me. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are a venue that sells tickets, putting ass in seats, you are completely and totally okay. Yeah. Because I'm not going to go to a listening room and not sell tickets, because that's what people are there for. They are there for the music. But if you are a soup and salad place that happens to have a guy set up acoustic in the corner, and you expect him to bring 30 people to a soup and salad place, you're out your mind.
Yeah, no, and I really think that with the phones and all the social media, I think that people aren't doing it right, and they're not using that enough. So let's say if you were to play at 5 Paces, well, maybe 5 Paces should do an Instagram or a Facebook of a couple of performances and put it on before you guys basically do a date. It's like a promotional type thing that I don't think people are still. Listen, I'm not doing it right. I'm still on this thing. What do you think about that? Because, I mean, you guys kill it. I mean, dude, these guys freaking kill it in Buckhead. I mean, just great shows. So, I mean, it would be better for Five Paces to take, before, let's say 2 weeks before Georgia Red Clay plays at Five Paces, promote that on social media.
And you know what? Actually, bringing up Five Paces actually does a great job doing that.
I've seen it. It's okay.
Now,
I've seen their social media.
Everybody can do better.
Listen, I can do better.
Everybody can do better, but there's a certain amount of accountability that the musician takes on as far as properly promoting shows. Yeah. There's a certain amount that the venue has to take on for properly promoting shows. Yeah. So if it's kind of like a marriage, because a marriage is not 50-50. If you're only giving 50%, you're not doing it right. A marriage is 100 and 100. All right, that's just plain and simple. So really and truly, if you look at it like a marriage, the musician and the venue have to give 100%, because if one of them backs off, you're not going to get the total amount that you need. Yeah. Period.
I'm just doing bro music science.
Music science.
Which I don't know anything about. That's why it's called bro music science.
Gotcha.
I'm not part of the business. I'm just like, because listen, with my business, man, I do a lot of social media. And it helps me out a lot.
Yeah. You know? I mean, but there's a certain amount that, you have to realize that you are responsible for. Mm-hmm. So if you say, oh, well, that venue didn't promote me, that's the reason my show sucked. No. Okay. At the same time, if you didn't put as many people into, and now keep in mind, this is not for your soup and salad or waffle and falafel, kind of places. This is for an actual listening room where you had to sell tickets. If you didn't do promotion, then any negative impact is on you. Mm-hmm. Just as if the venue didn't do promotion, the negative impact is on them. Mm-hmm. But now, at the same time, if you're a restaurant that has live music and you don't push your stuff, if you don't push yourself as not only the best steak in town, but also you have some of the best quality local music, if you don't push that, and you just expect a musician to be hey, by the way, did you know Joe's Steaks also has music? No, you're gonna fail. Yeah. Period. And you're going to look at that musician and you're going to be like, oh, well, apparently you're not as well known as we would like. And, we're not going to give you another. No. Listen here, man. I mean, it goes both ways. If you're not willing to put it out there, then that's plain and simple. And this is one of those really, really unpopular things. Yeah. I mean, because you would not believe how many venues legitimately in the past that I've dealt with that were just like, we're not gonna have you back because you didn't bring 50 people.
I got you.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you expect me to bring 50 people, then I expect you to already have 50 people. So if I walk in and it's me and the bartending staff, guess what? You're doing something wrong.
Yeah. I agree. All right, so listen, I'm gonna get another beer. And I want to apologize to everybody with my dog, man. She
just has a lot to say.
Yeah, I know. I just think that with the proper amount of force in my foot, I could probably get it right in her ass. Because it seems like every time I'm doing the podcast, she goes ape shit. I'm sorry, guys. So listen, I know that too. I want to talk about while I go get my beer, I'm going to have you can run the show. And
right on.
And I know that you're, whatever, man. You can tell he's a very sociable guy. You can see how fluid he is. He just goes. So I want you to talk about our great country, and I want you to talk about what Memorial Day means to you.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna go get a beer.
All right.
Because I'm out. That thing is still warming up over there. So
come on.
So talk about Memorial Day weekend and what it means to you, and I'm gonna go get another beer. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, it sounds like you just gave me an assignment. Like we're talking like school assignment. I have to write an essay.
Go for it.
An essay.
Hey, the stage is yours. Go ahead. Go for it.
All right. So let's go ahead and just cover the basics. Okay. So Memorial Day is not like it's not like any other day. This is. So you have like Veterans Day, you have, stuff like that. And that's for, active, retired, that kind of thing. Memorial Day is for those who gave the ultimate price. I mean, they paid the ultimate price with their life. I mean, everything they had is gone based solely on giving you the type of life that you want to live in this great country. I mean, that's plain and simple. Memorial Day to me actually holds a whole lot more significance than anything else, because I can't ask somebody to lay their life down for me. I would never ask somebody to lay their life down for me. However, there are brave men and women that do it. They volunteer to do it. Straight up, you have somebody who is willing to give everything they have for you. And they've done it. As far back as America was a country, they've done it. So Memorial Day to me, that is basically just taking some time out of your day. I mean, we're talking about giving the absolute bare minimum just to think about these people who have actually given everything just so you can live in a country where you basically have a degree of freedom within the realm of legality.
Okay, what did I miss?
What did you miss? Basically, what I'm saying is, because somebody gave their life, made the ultimate sacrifice, you basically can walk down the road right now and enjoy a beer, meet, congregate, eat fried chicken, apple pie, whatever you want to do. You can do anything you want to because somebody else paid the price.
That's right.
And I mean, like I said, I can never ask somebody to do that, but the fact that somebody volunteered to do it without anyone asking them to do it.
Yes.
I mean, that the least we can do as a country, as an American, as just a human being, is to just give a little bit of recognition and thanks. I mean, that's the least that we can do. There's always more that we could do. But at the same time, while you're out there enjoying your family, enjoying your friends, enjoying, the sunshine, if it happens to stay like this all weekend, and, enjoying just this 3-day holiday for those of you who, work 5 days a week, Monday, Friday, and enjoying the long weekend, enjoying your friends, family, all that. Don't forget to do the bare minimum and just say thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about going in, like thanking a veteran or something like that. That's Veterans Day. That is Veterans Day. Okay.
I was just going to say that. I'm glad you pointed that out. Please do continue. Memorial
Day. Mm-hmm. I don't care what God you pray to. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you have you have a vague idea of a supreme being. I don't care if you don't believe in anything at all. Just in your own quiet mind, say thank you for those who gave you these opportunities, gave you this freedom, gave you by paying with their life.
Yes, our freedoms have come at a great cost. And unlike many other countries in the world, Americans, men and women, have fought in many armed conflict around the world, starting with, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. Not just so we can be free, but so other people can be free. And today, or this weekend, is just think about it a little bit and just be thankful to be an American, and just be thankful that we live in such a unique country. We're so different from everyone else. Do you think we're different? We're different by leaps and bounds, man. I mean, you could not do what you do on a daily basis. I mean, just even the simplest thing that you do. Let's just say, going to work. Okay, most people get into their jobs either by circumstance, by opportunity, by preparation. For those of you who had to actually have some kind of skill set in order to get in it. You didn't have somebody tell you from birth what you're going to do. Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do as long as you're willing to work for it. As long as you're willing to basically put everything you've got on the line for it, as long as you're willing to put in the time and effort to do it, you have a very good chance of doing it. Why? Because you live in America. Plain and simple. You can't go do that in other countries. You follow your father.
Mm-hmm.
Your father is a sheep herder. Guess what? You're a sheep herder too.
Yeah, man.
You are born into an upper class family. The government says, oh, you're from a well-to-do family who's in favor of the government. You're going to be put through medical school. You're going to be a doctor. Okay? You are born into a family of, working a rice farm somewhere. You pretty much, aside from, displaying some kind of like overabundance of, intelligence or something like that, you're going to be working a rice farm.
Yeah.
I mean, plain simple. But here in America, and I mean, I'm saying this from my point of view because right now, like I said, I'm 32 years old. 32, and it took me this long to go back to college. Why? Because I want to make something. I want to give myself basically a better opportunity, just in case, talking to a microphone doesn't work for me, that kind of thing. But I'm in school with kids who have legitimately just gone to college because their parents gave them two options: go to school or get a job. And these kids are so freaking lazy that they're just like, I will do the bare minimum to skate by college to put off going to school for 4 more years. going to work for 4 more years. Yeah. You're wasting the American dream. Thinking that you're going to be the next, clothing designer, rap artist, musician, interior designer, anything that, requires actual talent. Okay, mm-hmm. Thinking you're going to be able to do that, but you don't actually do it. Mm-hmm. Like anybody can make beats in their basement. Yeah. Anybody can write shitty songs on an acoustic guitar. Anybody can throw a freaking blanket over a chair and call themselves an interior designer. But if you're willing to actually put in the time, the effort, actually make something of yourself, fine. You're part of the American dream. But if you think that you can just basically be handed something, man, you are doing this completely ass backwards.
Well, I think it's a thing of getting your 10,000 hours, man. So that's what I always tell people is, I'm a small businessman, and I always tell people, man, it took me 20 years to get to where I am today. But I struggled for like 15, 16, 17 years, man. I ate shit. So I don't take it for granted. So when you see that old guy in a Porsche, he's driving that $100,000 car and he's an old guy, and it took him that long because that's how long it takes, man. Not everybody can be an NBA star. Not everybody can be famous, and it's a process, man. Success is a process.
And okay, so I have 2 points based on that. So if you are athletically gifted, I mean, we're talking like you can do things that other people can't. Yeah. Then, I mean, really, really and truly, you hit the genetic lottery. Congratulations. You're now at the peak level of your sport. You deserve everything you got. Why? Because what people don't realize is that when you're looking at somebody who signs a $36 million deal over 4 years, mm-hmm. you have no idea how much sacrifice that person made all the way up to that.
Yeah, that's true, man.
I mean, because it started from when they were a kid. And maybe they had a father that basically, basically said, boy, you're going to learn baseball or you're going to learn football.
Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice.
Just push. Yeah. And the physical toll that it takes on your body. I mean, these basically from the time that their helmet was the biggest thing on them playing Pop Warner football, they basically look like bobbleheads running into each other and you're falling down.
People don't see that, Brian. Yeah. They only see the end result, man.
Right.
That's it.
And then the musicians. Okay, the musicians. The number one thing, the worst thing I ever have, I mean, as you can tell, I get kind of, emotional about this one thing. Mm. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Yeah. No such thing. I mean, I've even written a song about it. It actually is going to be on our next album. Shameless plug. But it's called Overnight Success. And, the hook is, that I've spent 10 years becoming an overnight success. Yeah. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Everybody has that time, that dedication, that's put into it, blood, sweat, and tears, that is put into everything. So anybody who has something, put in something. Now, how can you tell if somebody actually put in the time?
Mm-hmm.
It's the ones who last. It's the ones who have something to offer more than just, the basic what you can see. Okay, so these artists that, are basically a flash in the pan, they go one song and then you never hear from them again. Odds are they had somebody pushing them from the backside, not necessarily meaning that they had everything it took, but they just had that one thing they were looking for and they couldn't materialize anything else out of it. Yeah. Same with, athletes. Maybe, oh, you were like the star in high school, but then you got to college, and then once it got competitive, all of a sudden, man, you were average at best. Mm-hmm. That's the thing you have to realize is that as good as you think you are, there's always someone better.
Well, you know what? I think, I've seen your shows, and there's been many shows to where you had to perform that night, and then the next day you had to go to work, super early in the morning, So if these guys, they end up closing a bar out at like 2:30, mm-hmm. they still got to get all their gear mm-hmm. in the car and all that stuff. And they got to drive home, and then they got to go whatever. Then they have to get up the next morning. It takes it's hard work, man.
It is. I mean,
a lot of dedication.
My day job is actually physically demanding. I mean, I will say that, first and foremost. And there have been times where I'll go and play a show on Saturday, and Sunday morning rolls around. I got in maybe around like 4:00 in the morning. My alarm goes off at 5:30 because I have to be at work by 7. Now, thankfully, I got a promotion recently, so now I actually have the best. Yeah. Moving on up to they're paying me less now.
But you're a boss right now? Or you're like in charge of people?
I like to think of myself as middle sub management.
Okay.
Meaning that I'm still in the same shitty position. I just have a better schedule and cool title.
Sounds like a sergeant in the Army. That's what it sounds like. Just a regular, you're Buck 5, you're E5, just got promoted to sergeant, you're junior NCO. Lots of work and no pay.
Yeah. So, I mean, now I have a great schedule now because now, I'm off, Saturday through Monday. So I work Tuesday to Friday. That's cool because now I can roll in at, 4:00 in the morning and not worry about it because I got Sunday and Monday to, just kind of, recoup and stuff like that. Well,
yeah, but listen, that's related to your job because I know what you do. Have you seen an increase? I know there's a lot of people that go to parks now, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are, and okay, so here's the thing, and this is kind of just like a PSA type thing. Here in the state of Georgia, which I can only speak for the state of Georgia because, I mean, I know that there's different regulations depending on the state, depending on basically the political leaning of a lot of places. But here in the state of Georgia, what you have to realize is that certain public facilities, utilities, and stuff like that are still closed. Okay, mm-hmm. So part of this, and I'm speaking from like a Parks and Recreation type of viewpoint. Playgrounds are still closed. Okay.
Really?
Playgrounds are still closed because we do not have the manpower nor the capacity to clean that to the specifications that are put by the CDC and local governments. Period. There's no way that we could be out there giving it. I mean, we can't follow a kid, and as he's doing the monkey bars, go back behind it with Clorox wipes.
That makes sense.
Period. We can't do it. Therefore, it's closed.
Hey, listen, you learn something new every day, but it's
so don't go up to the people who are working in the park and be like, well, I pay taxes. Why the playground's closed?
Yeah. It's not for them to decide.
Oh, dude, come on, man.
Decide. Yeah. You guys. I mean, what are you guys gonna do? You're just. Yeah, it's like, listen, this is my job. This is what they're telling me.
Right. By the time you get to me, you got to realize that there is about 6 levels of upper management that have made this decision way before me. Yeah. All I am is the guy with the orange construction fencing, literally pulling it around so your kid can't get up the slide.
So basically, what Brian is saying is that you're yelling at the wrong person. And I also want to say that I like to drink a beer. Or alcohol. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but that's what I was thinking too. I like to drink beer.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, man, I didn't I didn't really think about it, but wow, I didn't know that the swings.
The swings are closed, slides are closed, monkey bars are closed. Now at the same time, there are certain things that are going to be opening. Like for example, the municipality that I work for, specifically, they're actually opening up their pool. Finally, now it will be, regulated numbers for a certain period of time, yada, 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 basically doing the whole social distancing, type things. So, you'll have to get with whatever party you go through for your swimming and stuff like that. You're going to need to find out what their individual regulations based on what they can accommodate. But I do know that everything is starting to, slowly but surely open back up. But what you got to realize is that the people on the personnel level, like basically if you can walk up to them and talk to them at any given point in time as they are working in the area that you are in, you got to realize 9 times out of 10, they're not the ones who made that call.
Yeah, guys, they're not. So don't get mad at them.
Right.
Don't get mad at them. They're just doing their jobs. Okay?
Now, at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and let you know that the person above them didn't make that call either. The person above them didn't make that call either. The person above them probably was in the decision-making process, but still probably didn't make that call by themselves because they are basically the ones that are being talked to by the state, by, the county, by the cities, by whatever, legal manifestation you want to
so it just sounds like a bunch of bureaucrats. It's the same thing with the military. I could fucking write a book of the incompetence. So recently got into an argument with my brother about the military industrial complex. That's what he said. I'm like, if you knew how many fucking idiots work for the military, you would not think of such things. The level of stupidity that you have in government, I don't care if you are talking about the military or with what Brian does. I mean, it is just absolutely unfreaking believable, man. You just wouldn't believe it. I mean, when you say that, Brian, I'm like, yes, I've seen that many times before, right?
Yeah, no, I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, so.
So yeah, guys, it's I don't want us to get back into that rabbit hole because like the whole COVID thing, like, yeah, man, like I'm so frustrated with that I'm just waiting for the end of the month to be like, all right, can we just open up? Because I just want to go see a band. I want to go see a band in America. I don't want to go see Georgia Red Clay. Huh?
I want to go see Georgia Red Clay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we go back to being, I don't know, man.
I mean, and now this is the last thing I'm going to say on this whole COVID thing. Okay. I think the most dangerous thing we can say is new normal.
Please don't. Yeah, I hear that.
That is the most dangerous thing we can say.
I hear that all the time, man. I'm like, yeah, I just want to go back to normal. I don't want to see people with masks walking around. I definitely don't want to see my server talking to me through a face mask. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's just bizarre.
It is. I mean, and you know what? That's the rabbit hole, man.
I went to buy a suit last night because I like to wear my suits when I go out.
Oh yeah, Frank is dressed. Man, I tell you what, I wish I had half his style, man.
But listen, they made me wear a mask, man.
Did you have like a personalized mask?
No, I don't wear a mask. No, I don't wear a mask, man. But they told me I had to wear a mask to be in the store.
I mean, at the same time, like I can see you with like your 4-piece suit. You got the pants, the jacket, the shirt, and then the mask. That goes
maybe a Chanel. No,
just like awesome, Get mask on coordinating. You got your little what's that thing called?
No, I don't wear those things.
You don't wear those things?
No, more. I'm just a regular suit. I don't wear any of that other additional crap.
All right, fine. Well,
no.
Fine. Your mask coordination with your tie.
Yes, so that's what I always tell my sister is that I did not descend from weak men. So yes, I will not be wearing a mask. I'm going to be a grown American, and I'm going to basically, if people are at risk, hey, listen. Do what you need to do. If you're at risk, do what you need to do to take care of yourself, okay? So basically that means that if I go into a Home Depot, I'm not going to be going in in there and literally, I'm not going to be coughing on people. I'm going to do the right thing, which is what I have always done. I'm going to be an adult, and I'm going to do what I need to do to whatever. I can respect the social distancing. Okay. So, I mean, that's all that I can say about it, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, going to your Home Depot example, if you're at risk, if you are medically at risk, you shouldn't be in Home Depot to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're at risk, you shouldn't be in the grocery store. Have somebody else go get it. Yeah. If you don't want to use like one of these, grocery delivery services, or or Uber Eats, or any kind of like food delivery service, you don't want to use that. I'm sure you have a friend. I'm sure you have a family member. I'm sure you have somebody that could go out and grab your groceries for you. If you're medically at risk, I mean, seriously, I mean, if you are absolutely just completely and totally do not need to be in public, don't.
Yeah.
Don't, because those are the main. You'd be surprised how many people are going like, well, you're putting me at risk because I have this underlying cause. Then why are you out?
Yeah.
If you are sick, if you're not feeling well, like I'm surprised, Frank didn't check my temperature at the door.
No.
But if you're not feeling well, if you have an underlying cause, if you have, some kind of predisposition, don't go out. By all means, that's part of your right as an American as well. Don't go out.
Yeah.
But if you do go out, follow the basic guidelines.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, cough into your elbow. Just, don't be up on somebody, okay? You don't need to read the VIN number in the car ahead of you. I mean, it's just one of those things. Yeah. Don't go out if you can't go out. And if you can go out, just be, this is normal people. I mean, come on, these are concepts that are common sense. I mean, before COVID-19, you didn't put your hands down the pocket of the person in front of you.
Yeah.
You didn't just walk up to them, oh, hey, how are you doing? That's not how you said hello, all right? So why in the world would you think that that's like what people do now that there's a pandemic?
Well, I think I had Rodney Wells. He's an engineer, so he thinks like that too. He's practical. He's a practical thinker. So he was thinking, if you were to measure people that die on a daily basis, I mean, you'd be freaking out of how many people die in America from cancer, from heart disease, from lung, from whatever. If we were constantly measuring that, but all right, so I think we like literally just fucking beat this thing to death.
Yeah, this was a dead horse, and it's still, we're still beating it.
No, listen, man, I feel your frustration, man. I just, like I said, man, I always just go back to like just hardworking people that can't pay their bills. That's what breaks my heart, man. I went to a local place here for the past 2 weeks, and whatever, man, try to tip, try to do my part to try to get the economy going, man. I want people to know that, that I'm there, that I want to help, man. I'm trying to do my part as an American.
We did a few things. Like I said, GRC has done a couple of like virtual shows and stuff like that. We actually gave the proceeds of those shows to actual server charities, basically. So like charities that were actually we donated directly to some venues that have helped us out over the years, and we also put in to some server related groups that actually help give some kind of stimulus, not really stimulus, but just basically kind of a little bit of a help to some of these servers. There's a lot of great charities out there that do that. But then we got word we were actually doing a show, and we were benefiting the servers of a venue that legitimately we played every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks like clockwork. Actually, no, 4 weeks, because we started getting on a monthly rotation. Every 4 weeks like clockwork, we were there. And we had these people join us on that show, and they're like, oh, you haven't heard. We're like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh, dude, they shuttered. They chained the doors. They're done.
Yeah.
They're gone. That venue is gone.
Yeah.
And here we are as musicians, as people who grew grew to have friendships, grew to have like business relationships with these people. All of a sudden, within an hour, it's gone.
Yeah, man, it's pretty incredible.
And I mean, okay, we take a very small part of that. I mean, because basically, we brought 2 or 3 guys, up there. So that's just 2 or 3 guys, whatever. But now there were bartenders, there were managers, there were cooks, there was waiters, there were busboys, there was, the dishwasher back in the back. They have no job now.
Yeah.
Period. So like Frank was saying, if you have the ability to go out, take care of that person, because honestly, they've probably gone through the biggest shit show of their life.
Yeah.
As far as getting money, providing for their family, that kind of thing.
Dude, I'm getting 5-star treatment at the Outback. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it really is, because there's a lot of people. There's not a lot of people going.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is today, but I went like 2 weeks ago, and it was just amazing.
Now, at the same time, my wife and I, we've definitely taken advantage of like curbside to go, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, so I do have to give a shout out to a local people, basically local business doing good. Okay.
Yeah, anybody.
So Universal Joint in Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
These guys are amazing. So Bruce and Rebecca, the two that run the whole place. Bruce is probably one of the most genuinely nice guys I have ever met.
What's
in my
his name?
entire life.
Bruce.
Bruce. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check him out.
Dude, Bruce is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And so basically, what they've done is, like, we're talking from day one, they started doing the whole curbside, come pick up your meals, stuff like that. But then they also went one better. They made it into a store, because they realized that as a restaurant, they could actually order certain things at a lesser price, and then they could pass that along almost like a grocery store to people. So you can make orders and stuff like that. And I mean, we're talking like you could buy bulk meat, bulk, this, bulk that. When no one could buy toilet paper, they could actually get, maybe like single ply stuff, but at the same time, it's still paper to wipe your ass. So they basically helped out the community. Now they even went one step further, and right down the road, they have one at Medical Center. They donate meals every day, because basically the cafeterias were being overrun. The food service of the hospital was being overrun. They donated meals.
Well, what it sounds like to me, he's a good businessman, because we did the same thing. I mean, the business that I run, we basically pivoted, and what we did was we started doing surgical masks.
Yeah.
Started making surgical masks.
And then you had the face shields as well.
We started, and we made a lot of relationships too. So I mean, listen, this is what capitalism is all about, man. You have to be able to adjust. I mean, I tell everybody, I think we did actually better. We did better because of the COVID-19 as a business.
Yeah.
But.
No, at the same time, I mean, I will have to give it to you guys over at Ground Pounder. I mean, honestly, speaking from not only from my viewpoint, because I mean, really and truly, that's the viewpoint I like speaking from. But
that's the only one you have, man.
Exactly. But even before this, even before everything, I can honestly say that you guys were probably the ones that would bend over backwards. Mm-hmm. To make sure that your people are taken care of. I mean, and I'm not saying, your people, you people like, your employees and stuff like that. I'm talking about your clients.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been about giving the highest level of service to your clients, your community, your everything. And, and I did see you guys, do the pivot towards, face shields and, and stuff like that. And that basically just is almost like the, the cherry on top of just how community focused and, community minded you guys are. And I mean, I definitely got to give it to you guys. I mean, that is absolutely amazing.
Listen, man, that's what it's all about, man. It's about the community. I mean, we can all profit, we can all, especially now, we got to do it together. We got to get this. We got to get this economy going, man.
Yeah.
We got to keep it moving. But listen, so tell us about, I know you said it already, but so when are you playing? When is your debut, basically?
Our debut out of quarantine is
after COVID-19.
After COVID. Well, we can't even say after COVID. And, okay, we're not getting down that rabbit hole.
And you norm.
Anyways, the next show that we have is basically 6 days away. So May 30th, which is Saturday, we're going to be at Moonshiners in Grayson.
Great place, guys.
Great place. So we start at 9 o'clock. We go till 1 a.m. So that is 4 hours for you. You can't do simple mathematics. That's 4 hours of music. 4. And you get to see just how bored we've been over the last 2.5 months.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna. I know Sherry's gonna go see you guys. You guys are gonna kill. They just every time they're there, they just freaking destroy it. And it's just such a good venue for you guys.
It really is. I mean, we've definitely made a really good relationship with Moonshiners. We've not just done their Grayson, but we've also done their Brazelton location as well. So we just, we absolutely love that venue, love the people that, that are there. Honestly, I'm really kind of scared to go in there because I don't want to see the kind of devastation that, transpired as far as, what wait staff is still there. And
no, Sherry said it's pretty good, man. Really? She's been going there for the last 2 weeks. She said there were a couple. Yeah, no, she said it's fine, man. It's fine. You guys should do. That's
well,
probably
I'm talking about. I don't want to see anybody like, for example, I made really good relationships with a lot of the bartenders and wait staff there, and I would hate to walk in and be like, oh, well, where's so-and-so? Oh, yeah, no, they didn't come back. Oh, well, crap.
I guess we'll see and find out. I think they've been kicking ass and taking names, so you guys should do fine. I don't know why that thing just cut off.
I have no idea. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye.
If anything, we have this. All right, guys. So because my phone just cut off and I want to get the whole recording, we're gonna sign off. Brian, man, thank you so much for being here
Thanks
today.
For having me, man.
We're definitely gonna have to have you on again and just do the whole whatever. We can talk about whatever, man.
Definitely, we'll get back into the bro science, bro economics, bro everything.
All right, guys. So listen, go check out Georgia Red Clay. They're, like I said, a local band here in Georgia. Fucking just amazing performance. Man, I love watching these guys.
Appreciate that.
They're just really good. And listen, support your local band.
Yeah. Officialgrc.com. Also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at officialgrc. Facebook's actually georgia.red.clay if you actually wanted to put the actual link in there. But give us a like, give us a shout, give us anything you got, and guys, we'll see you out there.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself. That's it, guys. This is it. The old breed. Hold on. Let me see. We're out. Goodbye.
See?
All right, brother. That was good. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Good content.
That was fun.
So we'll do it again.